Welcome back to Toy Art. My name is Zach Kinsella, and I'm your host. As we're going out through 2022, a lot of us are making some very hard to make choices about what toys we're getting, and that sucks. It really sucks. But one I had no problem making a choice about was Bushranger from Hasbro's Fortnite. So you want to find out all about why? Let's get into it. Yeah, alright. Bushranger. This is probably one of the more unique figures that I've bought in the last few years. I'm just really excited to talk to y'all about him. Let's go over the basics real quick of what we do on Toy Art, and then we'll get into this whole figure. So what I like to do is I like to do a turnaround first so you can see all sides of the figure. I talk about the sculpt, I talk about the paint, and then I leave some room for final thoughts. Sometimes I sprinkle some thoughts in between those things, but those are the main things I cover here in Toy Art. And so I just want to make sure that y'all know where we're going with this figure. Alright, so let's start talking about sculpting. I think this is one of the more unique sculpts. The Hasbro Fortnite team really just knocked it out, and I wish they would get some more love. I'll talk about that here in a few minutes after we talk about sculpting and painting. So with the sculpt on this character, it's really unique. It's very much a leafy. He's definitely an aspen tree. I live in Colorado, so I know this tree like the back of my hand practically, which is really cool. Just one of those like menacing looking forest creatures. So let's get into it and let's talk sculpt now. So I'm going to bring them up close to the camera so you can see here, front view, side view, back, side again. And let's talk about this sculpt. One thing I will say about this sculpt is that like his feet are kind of small. So it's tough for him to stand up. Or them. I'm not sure of the pronouns on this guy. I'm just going to go with he. So what I do like about the sculpt is like, man, they did not slack at all on the leafiness, this leafy goodness. Look at all around here. Like there's not one part, even on the back, that's like feels like they slacked on. And what I really dig about it is like he's got a full like head of leaves. Like yes, he's supposed to be bushy, but like each time you touch him, it's kind of like the Toka figure from NECA's, like they can be a little pointy, so watch out, they're not like really stabby or anything like that. But then he's got a little crown of small outcroppings growing up there, and he's got just the little cutest button nose. He always looks like he's smiling to me. I don't really see like a mouth per se, but like Fortnite's very cute, right? So I'm just gonna go along with that. But every leaf has sculpting. It has its little middle divot to it. They didn't go and like flock out the leaves by any means with that much detail, but they put just enough to make it really feel like, yeah, this is a tree character. This is really cool. He's got a bandolier around the side here, and he's got pine cones. I don't know if you can see those really well. He's got 3 pine cone grenades, which I think is just wonderful, honestly. Like, it makes me laugh, and that's why I love this character. Around the side, like I said, aspen trees all around the side here, and the face paint on here, you can like, kind of see here, is that they don't, like, there's actual like sculpted divots in there where the paint to follow. So it's actually a textured tree feel. Same down with the legs, especially like with the knees, they kind of feel like the bottom of a trunk. Right there, and then finally down at the bottom, you've got those dim feet, and then he has like little glovey hands, like that come like right out of the end of his bark here. So super cool sculpt on this figure, something like you'll just never see anywhere else, to be fair. So let's get into the sculpt of those accessories real quick. He comes with a backpack that's a bee's nest with some honey coming out of there. I don't play a lot of Fortnite. It's been a while, so I have no idea what the story is. But the backpack fits in just fantastically right in the back there. It doesn't hold any of the weapons, but that's okay because he can hold all of his weapons. Honestly, he has 2 blades. Sorry for this scrounging around here. One covered with metallic honey, and I just like love the reflection off of this. And then there's some little divots in here, some little battle damage action, and a fully dropped one, and a fully wrapped hilt right here. Super cool. So he dual wields those. Then he has a rifle. And it's just a bolt action rifle. It does come with some metallic paint to it, which is, I think, is a really, really nice touch. Speaking of that, we'll just start segueing into paint now. But I do want to point out one thing that I really dig is that, like, while like you can't like pull this over the head by any means, you can make sure it rests right on that twig right there. So even if he's holding both of his knives, he can easily also hold his gun on his strap there. Very cool way to use a tree branch. So let's talk about some paint, right? And he's got some nice detailed, like lighter airbrushing right around the face to make that white really pop. And then as you kind of come down further, it goes darker and then it goes lighter again. Just to show you, like, you know, he does articulate, right? He does move pretty easily. Twists and turns. He's got articulation down here as well, too. But that's a nice pattern here to come out with light, dark, light to break up the figure. And that goes all the way around, too. And there's some dark down at the bottom to break up to make sure, and up these sides here, to make sure the white really pops on this character. Because there's not, like, again, they're letting the sculpt talk in so many ways, except for in this middle part, which I love the use of greens. It reminds me of like a Ghibli forest, right? Hayao Miyazaki. If you're familiar with Princess Mononoke, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I look at this character. He would fit right in that movie. So you move him around. He's got some pretty great like reach on here. You know, I'm going back into sculpt, but really it's the paint on this front of the character that goes into like some greenish yellow, then darken down into dark forest greens, then into light greens, then into forest greens again, which makes the white pop and the brown really come to life on this character. They did a fantastic job. It's probably one of my more favorite characters out there. And let's see him holding some weapons, huh? So they fit pretty easy. Like I said, there's a lot of nice metallic for that honey. Like, it reflects so nicely, and that it's not quite a gunmetal, but it's more of a shiny version of gunmetal gray. And they're nice and thick, but I love the honey texture. The honey, something I never thought I would say is like, I love the color of honey on this character. Super weird, but like so awesome. And that's one thing I really wanted to get into real quick here and talk about Fortnite in general real quick. So one thing that concerns me about the Fortnite Victory Royale series is that there's zero promotion for it. That really like gives me Overwatch vibes. And there was no promotion for Overwatch, but I was there night one getting me a tracer, you know what I mean? And that's the same thing with this Overwatch. That's the same thing with this Fortnite Victory Royale series. Fortnite, I think, has a much bigger outreach than Blizzard does. However, I'm not seeing any promotion for these characters from Fortnite, Epic Games, or from Hasbro. They're just popping out. And there's some of my favorite toys. I play some Fortnite here and there, but the toys are really where they're getting me. I love the design. I love the aesthetics. And really, that's what I wanted to talk about, is I'm wondering, like, are we going to get some fan live streams? Something, anything. They just announced a whole bunch of stuff, like including a 6-inch boat that I'm probably going to be using for my G.I. Joes, to be honest with you. But they just have stuff that keeps coming out. And I'm excited for it. And I just want this line to do really well. So that's just one thing I'm concerned about. And let's get back to my final thoughts. All right, some final thoughts after that little tangent about the Fortnite in general. I think Bushranger is going to be one of those characters that just stands out on your shelf and looks so cool. His art and design really pops, and it doesn't look like any other figure I have out there. And that's the entirety of the Fortnite line. Like, nothing, you know, in the whole design. You know, there's throwbacks to some other figures, like the one guy that looks like Firefly from G.I. Joe, right? But this Bushranger, totally unique, and it totally looks like something that would walk out of nature in like a Studio Ghibli movie or something even weirder and darker than that, like the actual Fortnite game. I just love the idea of this. The neon green and yellow green and forest green, everything pops on this figure. It says, what is that? Why am I not always looking at figures like this? And how much fun is it to have a figure like that? And I really think, go out of your way to find this character and put on your shelf. It is such a great, it would make one, when I think about working in a boring office, having a Bushranger up there, it'd be like, okay, that makes, it stands out above everything else. So those are my final thoughts. Go grab you a Bushranger. They're available now, or should be. I got mine off of Amazon. So easy enough to find. Thanks again for watching. Those are my final thoughts, and I think this is a phenomenal character. I think this is a phenomenal line. I just love it. I think it's really cool, and I want everyone else to love it. So, a couple things before we go. Of course, the like, comment, subscribe thing, you'll know that was coming. But more so than anything else, to share. I wanted to meet more Fortnite fans. Friends and fans. There we go. I want to meet more, y'all. Talk about this in the comments. Who's your favorite Fortnite character? If you've never played the game, are you thinking about it now? It's totally free. It's totally fun. It's wild. So that's what I have. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next time.